got a quarter.
On today's Safety in the City, we'll learn about the importance of checking our smoke detectors from the Cleveland Division of Fire Chief Angelo Cavillo and our local American Red Cross. Then the Cuyahoga County Board of Health offers tips on safe sleeping for infants.
We work in conjunction with the American Red Cross. We can provide a smoke alarm. We're going to be doing some canvassing of the neighborhoods on the west side and east side coming up in a few couple weeks here. Give your title, spell your name, and then tell us about the American Red Cross and what you provide.
Sure. John Garris. I'm the Regional Preparedness Manager for Northeast Ohio, based out of Cleveland. And what the Red Cross does is we provide smoke alarms along with Cleveland Fire to anybody that needs those. There's no cost involved with it. There's no financial limits or anything. If you need them, we'll provide those.
John, tell us a little bit about the smoke alarm. Tell us about the life expectancy of the battery and a little bit about it.
Sure. This alarm, it's a dual sensor. It's a battery operated. We no longer provide these, but we're providing now a 10-year sealed unit, which gives you a 10-year battery life. And photoelectric, it detects a different type of alarm than ionization. But we're providing the photoelectric alarms 10-year battery sealed in the city of Cleveland. And the beauty of that is you never have to change the battery in the alarm. You can't, because you would break it. But what we're telling people, and a lot of times on the back of their alarms, if they don't know how old their batteries are or their alarms are, there's a manufacturer date on it. And 10 years from that day, the sensors wear out. And that's really what the 10-year thing is. It's the sensors wear out in any smoke alarm. The battery is helpful, and especially if you have a senior, if you put an alarm on a ceiling and they have to change it every 6 months and they can't get on a ladder, it's going to be hard for them. So the 10-year battery solves that problem. Most of the alarms that we see, people disengage them, they take the batteries out, they start chirping, and that's where the problems become. So the 10-year battery alleviates that problem. You still have to check because the sensors wear out in 10 years on any alarm. If it's hardwired, battery operated, dual sensors, ionization, 10 years is the life expectancy of an alarm, any alarm.
John, we talk about time change, change your clock, time change your battery. We still have those smoke alarms out there, and we'll provide those batteries.
Right.
But how often do you test a smoke alarm? And tell us a little bit about the batteries and the older units.
Sure. In the older unit like this, we suggest that you change the batteries twice a year, every 6 months. But you should test any alarm, hardwired, brand new, every month. And what that does, it lets you know if power is still going to the unit. That's when you press the button and test it. That's what it's testing, that the unit still has power to it. And again, what really is going to happen in that 10-year span, the sensors wear down and they're not going to really detect as much smoke as they're supposed to. And that's it's not going to prevent a fire, but it'll prevent hopefully an injury.
John, I believe you started the smoke alarm program in Cleveland, Ohio, started right here in Cleveland, Ohio. Talk a little bit about that and now how you're moving out nationally.
Sure. We're very proud of it, along with Cleveland Fire, when we started this program back in the early 90s. This program we've been running in Cleveland for about 26 years now. We've installed about 160,000 alarms in the city of Cleveland proper, along with Cleveland Fire. This program, our national headquarters got word of it, they've heard of it, the successes of this program and the partnership. It's now a national program, so we're very proud of that, and Cleveland Fire takes a bit of the accolades with that. But our program, any place in the United States, anybody can call the closest Red Cross, and we'll do the same thing. We'll come out and we'll put smoke alarms in their homes along with the fire departments.
John, a lot of times when we get these fires, and it's the worst day of somebody's life when they have a house fire. So they're really not thinking about resources that are available to them. Tell us a little bit about the Red Cross and what you can provide people when they walk out and all they have is the shirt on their back and they don't know where to turn.
Right. The Red Cross is traditionally, I work in the disaster services department, and what we do is not only education, but obviously we respond after a fire. And what we'll do with the family is we'll meet with them, we'll see what their needs are, and we'll tailor their assistance based on what their needs are. Some people just need a little bit, some need a lot of assistance. And where our assistance may start to end a little bit, we tailor it into the resources in the community. So there's a lot of partner groups that we work with that provide services that Red Cross uses all the time. And so we'll refer to people to other programs in the community that can help them. Everything from Cleveland Furniture Bank to Salvation Army we work with, obviously the fire departments. There's a lot of resources in the community we can help somebody get on their feet again. Shelters, if we get into shelters, then you have a lot of people displaced. And but we do open shelters. We're part of the National Homeland Security Act that Red Cross takes the lead on sheltering on large events. We do those occasionally here in Cleveland. When we had extreme weathers a few years ago, we opened up another number of rec centers as shelters for the night until the power came back on.
Right. So what we do as far as the Cleveland Fire Department, our assistant chiefs and battalion chiefs on scene, when we have these working fires, they'll get the information of that person and their phone number, and they'll actually contact the Red Cross and give them that information so that when these individuals have time to think, they'll reach back to that person or that family and identify the resources that they can provide.
And one thing, when the Red Cross comes out in the middle of the night, middle of the day, whenever we respond, we'll do an immediate emergency assistance, what they need right today. But we'll also keep back in touch with them for about a month or so until they're fairly on their way to get on their feet again. So we'll do follow-up casework, and we have resource volunteers that come in and help us. But it's not just a one and out. We'll work with the family until they're pretty stable to get back on their feet again.
Awesome. John, thank you for all you do, and thank you for coming out today.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more Safety in the City.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Welcome back to Safety in the City.
We all want to do whatever is possible to protect our loved ones. Their safety is always our top priority.
We know that African American women have the highest rate of infant mortality. So for example, here in the state of Ohio, for every 1,000 babies that are born, we are seeing now right at about 15 African American babies die, compared to about 5 white babies that die. And so we know that it's imperative that we get out and educate our community on ways you can reduce sudden, unexpected infant death, and really looking at safe sleep practices.
So as a part of the Child Fatality Review Board, we analyze risk factors that could have contributed to a child's death. More than 80% of sleep-related deaths that occurred in Cuyahoga County in the last 10 years had extra bedding, such as a pillow, blanket, or comforter noted. 2/3 of those had parental smoking, such as mom smoking while the baby was in the womb. Also, almost 2/3 of all babies that died in the last 10 years had some sort of surface sharing, such as the baby sleeping with another parent or a child.
The death of an infant child can be detrimental to both the mother and the father and their overall well-being. We had an example recently of a father who lost a child to an infant death and kind of never recovered. He lost his job as a result of going through some depression, then ended up getting lost even further by getting on drugs. And the family traced everything back to the time in which he lost his infant child. And this is just one example of how emotionally both parents are affected by the death of an infant. And a lot of times in today's environment, we think about the loss of the child from the emotional impact that it has on the mother, but it has just a significant impact on the father as well.
The importance of Daddy Boot Camp is it gives a guy the opportunity to see another gentleman that was just in his position take care of his child.
The last thing you want to do is especially exposed air, then there's a free-for-all. That's the one mistake I did the first time I was left alone.
It's a 3-hour workshop, so through that 3 hours, he's actually witnessing a man take care of his child. So it gives him that confidence to go home and do it when he's in that position. When it comes to safe sleep and what's been going on in our community and the stats, I'm hoping that these gentlemen are equipped with what they need to make sure that that environment is safe for them.
I took the class 6 months ago before my daughter was born, and I learned a lot. And coming back as a veteran dad, it really helps out to see other dads sit in situations where I was 6 months ago.
We learned a lot of different things about SIDS. We learned how to prevent those different situations from occurring.
I was familiar with safe sleeping, which is one of the, I think, the most important things to come out of the camp. And but I wasn't familiar with like some of the specifics. I thought that maybe some things might be all right, but now I know that they're not.
When I first was asked to come here, I really didn't want to come. I told my wife I fought it the whole time. And then that Saturday morning when I got here, I had so many questions my first day. And just I would tell them to get dads not to be afraid of it and just to take advantage of it. Here are some best practices to follow to help prevent your baby from being one of the 20 babies who die every year from unsafe sleeping conditions. First, your baby should always be put to sleep alone and on their back in a crib, bassinet, or pack and play. Do not place your baby to sleep with pillows, blankets, stuffed animals, or bumper pads of any kind. Do not let your baby sleep in soft or puffy pillows. These can all lead to suffocation. Do not sleep with your baby. Your baby could become trapped underneath you or pressed against a blanket or pillow and suffocate. Make sure your baby is not overheated. Do not put extra pajamas or other clothes on a baby that would raise their temperature while sleeping. 2 out of 3 infants who have died in an unsafe sleep environment were exposed to tobacco. Smoking inside or near your baby increases their likelihood of a sleep-related death. If you need to smoke, go outside and change your clothing before holding your baby again. Cigarette smoke leaves tar and dangerous chemicals on your clothing. Support mom in breastfeeding. Breastfed babies wake up more often, and this helps prevent SIDS. By practicing these simple steps, the chances of your baby dying while sleeping drops dramatically. Keeping your baby safe is a father's most important job, but it takes a team effort. Make sure you and everyone else who helps care for your baby always follow these safe sleep rules without exception. If you would like more information on how you can get involved with Boot Camp for New Dads, please contact the Cuyahoga County Fatherhood Initiative at 216-348-3967. For more information on safe sleep, contact the Cuyahoga County Board of Health at 216-201-2000. Take steps to keep your baby safe today. We want everyone to celebrate their child's first birthday.
Thanks for watching Safety in the City, only on TV 20. We are Cleveland.